Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. On this channel I talk about fragrance, skincare, fashion and the finer things in life, and today we are talking about sandalwood fragrances. I have some full bottles in front of me right now. I have a couple of decants and I'm going to be dividing this video into two parts. In the first part we're going to be talking about BDK Parfum Gris Charnel. As you know, now everyone knows, Gris Charnel has a flanker called Extrait de Parfum. So here I'm in San Francisco right now, and while we're at it, let me tell you, this is May 15th and it is 8:06 p.m. It's a Sunday here in San Francisco, and the brand owner David Benedict came to San Francisco for the launch of this fragrance to one of these perfumeries here in San Francisco, and I had to chance to listen to him and then explain the fragrance and the differences between eau de parfum, and now we have the extrait. What is added in the extra version, what is different, how does it feel, so on and so forth. So I said, you know what, let's talk about this Gris Charnel eau de parfum and extrait de parfum. And while we're at it, since this is a sandalwood fragrance, let's make a video about sandalwood fragrances. And I brought all my sandalwood fragrances in front of me right now with some decants, and I have two other fragrances that I don't have the decants anymore because I used them up, but I know them by heart. We're going to be mentioning those two as well. We're going to be looking at Fragrantica because one of them is Guerlain Samsara, and then the other one is Bois, Chanel Bois, and we have another decant here, Clive Christian, because they're always thought to be similar to each other. We're gonna be diving into this a little. I'm gonna give you my take on that. So Gris Charnel eau de parfum, extrait de parfum. If you have any question in your mind, or you want to know my picks when it comes to sandalwood fragrances, I think this video is for you. What are you going to do? Go grab a drink. I have mine here and I'm going to take a sip right now. Ruth here again with us tonight, here in San Francisco. She never died. Or if you're saying, oh my god, I'm feeling a little hungry, that's perfect. Go grab a snack. Come find me here and let's talk about sandalwood fragrances and also Gris Charnel BDK Parfum. We're gonna start our conversation. Okay, so today we're doing sandalwood fragrances. That's great, but we're gonna be dividing this video into two parts because I would like to talk about Gris Charnel eau de parfum and extrait de parfum. Well, before I do that, I just would like to let you know that there is a video in this channel. I might be putting the thumbnail up on the screen where I talked about all the BDK Parfum except for two citrus fragrances, because I don't do citrus fragrances on this channel. So if you wanna, not sponsored brand overview of this BDK Parfum, please go back to that video. And in that video, I specifically said that, I like Gris Charnel and I also love Possessoir. And guess what? I own a full bottle of Possessoir right now. I love the presentation as well. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. Bottle feels heavy, cap is heavy, and the spray is beautiful. And now, their bestseller, I would assume, Gris Charnel Eau de Parfum, now has a flanker, has a friend, Extrait de Parfum. Let's put the photos up here. In this corner, let's place Eau de Parfum, light gray, kind of more transparent. And the other one here is more darker. It's more like mysterious feeling to it, Extrait de Parfum. And I have my decants here as well. So, what I said in the previous video where I did the brand overview of BDK Parfum regarding Gris Charnel still holds. That's correct. I love it, and if you gift me that fragrance right now here, I would be very happy about it. I would wear the shit out of it. Sandalwood, thick, powdery, airy, elegant, sophisticated, Parisian chic, whatever it is, it's Gris Charnel. It is giving me life. So now we have the Extrait version. So I'm gonna give you the differences right away. And this is what the brand owner, David Benedict, said as well. He was very approachable. He was very nice. He was wearing a leather jacket and he was wearing Louis Vuitton boots and a pair of jeans. I mean, he was very good looking actually. He gave me kind of like a French frat boy vibes, but in the best possible way. I'm not saying this is like a bad thing. It was like really nice. He was, talkative. He was explaining, but he had the, it was intention to his presence. And then, he gave me the French frat boy vibes. And then, I'm such a sucker for French, so I was like, okay. Cool. All right, so he said that this extra version has vanilla and patchouli, and it does. So what he basically did was, while doing back and forth with the perfumer, Mathilde something, I guess, I can't remember the name. So he said that he wanted to work with vanilla. So, and I was like, I wasn't surprised actually, because whenever something is intense, whenever flanker is intense, extrait, nuit, dark or black, what are we gonna think about? We just have to always think about vanilla. Because when things get darker or extrait or more intense, vanilla appears. And it did when it comes to BDK Parfum Gris Charnel Extrait de Parfum. I'm going to be putting up a video on the screen right now. These are the, notes they say we have in the Extrait version. We also see the patchouli and cedarwood. So what happened here is basically you have your Gris Charnel Eau de Parfum here, and then you have the base, you have the foundation. You're making that foundation really, really strong. Okay, how? By adding vanilla, patchouli, and cedarwood. It is still Gris Charnel, but it is not the same, but it's not totally different. It's just like more present, it's sturdier, and it lives more, let's say, conspicuous life. I don't know. Is it the right? Let me see. Definitely. Yes. Yes. This is the right adjective, actually. I think definitely. Gris Charnel Extrait Parfum lives a more conspicuous life. It's there. You can see it. You can smell it. It's not like as light as Gris Charnel Eau de Parfum. So I was like, do we need it? Do we not need it? So whenever I spray Gris Charnel Extrait de Parfum on my clothing, there is that sweet, sweaty vibe that I get. It might be off-putting for some people. It is not to me because I like it, because it gives that Charnel, carnal vibe to this fragrance, and it makes things actually interesting and you want to go back and smell again. It gives sensuality to it. It creates that Gris Charnel effect maybe more with this version because of that, sweet, sweaty vibe to it. And all while all these like description fig fragrance, sandalwood, vanilla, this is basically sandalwood woody fragrance too, and you still feel that as well. So I'm kind of like torn, and I want Gris Charnel Eau de Parfum, and now that we have the Extrait version, I want that too. But I don't have either of the bottles because I have other sandalwood fragrances that I can really, really recommend with my eyes closed. But I'm just gonna say this again. If you gift me, Gris Charnel Eau de Parfum, or if you give me Extrait de Parfum, I will wear the shit out of them. You can layer them. You know what? To your body parts closer to your heart, you can apply Gris Charnel Extrait de Parfum. And when it comes to the moving part of your body, hair here, you can go with the Eau de Parfum. I think that would be creating a really nice aura as well. I'm just gonna say this. If budget is no issue, and if you are a big fan of Gris Charnel, I think you have to try Extrait de Parfum. And if you like it, go for it. It's more expensive than the Eau de Parfum version, which is understandable because David Benedict said that this is 30% extrait, and then you would expect 8-hour longevity when it comes to an extrait fragrance. I don't know if it's like really 8 hours on my skin, but it definitely hits 8 to 10 hours on clothing. Performance is definitely not a deal breaker. It is denser, Extrait de Parfum, but it has also a different edge to it, and you might be liking that. You know what? I'm okay, I like it, but be careful about that sweet, sweaty feeling that I get on me, which I'm okay with, but I just want to be telling you, pay attention to it. Try them side by side. That's what I did as well. These are definitely coherent, Gris Charnel, and now there is another iteration of it. It's similar, but it's different. It's denser. Oh, by the way, one more thing. Guys out there, if you're watching this video, do yourself a favor. Go order Gris Charnel BDK Parfum Extrait de Parfum version. Whoa, this is gonna live a beautiful life on male skin, and you're gonna be smelling different than the herd, which is what we want. Done with all the classic like barbershop, aquatic, fougere, whatever. Just go with Gris Charnel Extrait de Parfum. I think this is going to be super sexy, on male body. Well, other than that, let me know down in the comment section if you tried the extra version. But this was the part one of this video. Just, the extrait de parfum or de parfum, differences, how I feel, and the whole thing about Gris Charnel. Alright, so now that we're doing sandalwood fragrances, one of which was Gris Charnel, I went through my collection. I went through my decants and I brought them here on my vanity. I have full bottles here, 6 full bottles, like one travel size, 5 full bottles. I have 3 decants, and I would like to also talk about 2 more fragrances. And for that, we're gonna go on Fragrantica, because the first one I would like to talk about today is Guerlain Samsara. Well, that is a classic sandalwood fragrance, Samsara, and I have tried a lot of Samsaras over the years. The one that comes in the red bottle, and I also tried the vintage eau de toilette version. It's a clear bottle and the hose, like inside, is very thick. I tried that too. All in all, I think I've spent a considerable amount of money on decants samples to try out different Samsaras, and I can say that it smells beautiful. It is a great powdery woody fragrance. It is utterly feminine. I think it's an excellent creation by Jean-Paul Guerlain, but it is not a fragrance that I prefer. I've never owned a bottle of Samsara, but it doesn't mean that, it's a bad fragrance. I don't find it particularly sexy or captivating. I find it feminine. I find it a little fleeting too. And, here's the thing though, if you are a fan of Guerlain, you have to try Samsara. And don't be, worrying about like, oh, I don't have the red bottle or the parfum or the eau de toilette, that the vintage version or the new bottle, B bottle, whatever. It is still Samsara. And then, if you like it, just use it, just spray it, just wear it. It is great. But in my opinion, when I go to Samsara's page on Fragrantica, that prompts me to talk about 2 other fragrances which I actually like better than Samsara, and I know I will be breaking some hearts here. So let's go to Samsara and then let's just scroll down to see one of those fragrances, because there is definitely, crosstalk between these 3 fragrances. And the first one is Chanel Les Exclusives de Chanel Bois des Iles. I talked about Les Exclusives de Chanel on my channel. I have a very, very detailed buying guide for the whole collection, and I think it's very valuable, and I don't see a lot of detailed, explanations of Les Exclusives de Chanel on YouTube. So if you are curious about Les Exclusives de Chanel, please watch that video or share with your friends who are thinking about purchasing one, because I go through the whole collection and I divided the whole collection into 3 parts, and the last 6 was my favorites actually, and Bois des Iles was of course in that last portion of the video. I love Bois des Iles. I see the similarity between Samsara, but Bois des Iles is giving me more life than Samsara. So what is the problem with Bois des Iles right now? The performance. It is so fleeting. It is so like ethereal, But one thing, Chanel has an extra version of Bois that comes in a dabber bottle, like a small 15 ml dabber bottle. And I know for a fact that from a reputable source, that from my friends, that it stays longer on your skin. But you know what? Even if it does not stay long, I think I might go and buy Chanel Bois Eau de Parfum. It is a great fragrance. And other fragrance, when we talk about Samsara, that we have to revisit is actually Clive Christian #1 Feminine. It's here, and also we are transitioning from the screen to one of my bigger decants. She's here as well. I'm gonna put the picture up here and I'm gonna spray this on my arm. This is Clive Christian for the first time on this channel. We're talking about Clive Christian and we're just like jumping into Clive Christian pool with #1 Feminine. This is a sandalwood fragrance. This is a fruity sweet sandalwood fragrance, and I think the fact that this is fruitier, sweeter, and this is more like dripping feminine just makes me like this more than Samsara. I know this is a controversial opinion. For some, it is not non-negotiable that, you know, Samsara is out there, it's #1, but I love this fragrance. If you want to smell feminine, if you want performance, if you want powdery, if you want fruity, and if you want a little vintage aldehydic feeling to it as well, I think this is the creation. I think Clive Christian #1 Feminine is a great fragrance, everyone. I love this. I would wear this. I think I need a bottle of this in my life. And you know what? When it comes to sandalwood fragrances, I have to talk about this. And guess what? There is another Clive Christian. Alright, all these times, you know, when we look at the previous videos on this channel, we've never talked about Clive Christian. And here today we're doing the sandalwood video, filming it, and we're going to be talking about 2 Clive Christian videos in one video, in sandalwood video. But hey, they deserve to be featured, and I actually have the travel size of the other one that we're going to be talking about today toward the end of the video. But hey, sandalwood people out there, Samsara fans, Bois fans, well, go give this a shot. This is Clive Christian #1 Feminine, 40 sweeter. I love it. You know what? I wouldn't mind owning this. It's great. Okay, so now we're just gonna be moving on to 2 more decants because they are sandalwood fragrances too, and then, you know, they come up when we say sandalwood on Fragrantica. And after that, I'm just gonna be walking you through my full bottles. The first one I would like to talk about today is the Moonmilk from a Swedish brand called Stora Skuggan. Alright, I'm gonna pull the page up for this one as well, just to make sure that, you know, it is so hard to pronounce this brand as well. It is Swedish, and I tried all 5 of their fragrances, and I'm not a big fan of them. But I would like to mention this fragrance when we are talking about sandalwood fragrances because it always pops up. This Moonmilk. This is a sandalwood fragrance. It's not pulling up, so I'm just going to be spraying here on my hand. But there is a fresh vibe to this. There is a bergamot, kind of like cardamom bergamot vibe to it. This is, what is this to me is sandalwood is visiting a barbershop. It is that kind of feeling. And in that aspect, I think this reads more masculine. So, you know what? Here's what I'm going to say about this. If you want a niche fragrance, and if you want your niche fragrance to come from Sweden, and if you want your niche fragrance to be sandalwood, but at the same time, it should give you like a fresh barbershop vibe to it, bergamot to it, kind of like a tea vibe to it, I think this could be your bet. This could be your choice. It's not terrible, but it is not something I can really like recommend really like enthusiastically, but I thought that I should be talking about this here when we talk about sandalwood fragrances, because this always pops up somehow whenever you do sandalwood. This always, like the bottle itself, I'm putting the photo here, it is actually very artistic. The bottle is very artistic too. It always shows itself. Moonmilk. Oh, apparently it was launched in 2017. It's a woody, warm, spicy. Citrus, definitely citrus. Yeah, it's like the sandalwood here, lime, bergamot. Yeah, yep. Give this a try, guys out there, niche fragrances. And if you want the sandalwood fragrance that is, citrusy, bergamot feeling, like black tea, a little cardamom vibes, why not? I just wanted to feature when it comes to this video because I have the decants from the brand, and this is, somehow whenever you search for sandalwood, one way or another, Moonmilk shows up. And there you go. I talked about it. And the other one, the other sandalwood fragrance I would like to mention today is Nishane's Vain and Naive. I'm not a big fan of Nishane, and I talked about a lot of Nishane fragrances in the beginning of this channel, but this is an exception actually. This is a nice fragrance. This is a woody, fruity, kind of like the creamy fragrance that reminds you of all the musky fruits that Tiziana Terenzi has or Xerjoff has, but this is not really in your face kind of feeling. You don't get that vinegary, fruity, musky vibe where you get from a lot of Xerjoffs. This is more controlled. This is more sophisticated. This is raspberry. This is florals. This is creamy as well. It lives a beautiful life on your skin, and like all other Nishane fragrances, performance is amazing. I like this. I like this a lot. I think this makes a beautiful feminine fragrance. It is okay. It is a sandalwood fragrance. It is fruity. It is woody, and it's Nishane. And if you like Nishane, and if you want some performance from your fragrance, and if you want sandalwood, of course, and if you are watching this video, why not try Nishane's Vain and Naive? You might like it a lot, actually. All right. So, we talked about the decants, and we talked about Gris Charnel Eau de Parfum and Extrait de Parfum. Now, we're going to be moving on to the full bottles, actually, and we are 22 minutes, 9 seconds in this video. So, let me take a sip, actually. All right, so my hair is going crazy, too. Oh, well. I just filmed the Turkish version of this video. Now I'm filming the English version, and speaking of, this is the bilingual channel. Each and every video comes in 2 different languages. One of them is in Turkish and the other one is in English. And guess what? You're watching it right now. Thank you so much for doing that. Thank you so much for tuning in. Every time my English videos gets views and then, I get comments underneath them, I get so happy because I feel like I no longer talk to emptiness or like a black hole that eats up my words. I feel like, someone's out there watching this video. So if you're doing it, leave a comment. Just leave a comment your favorite sandalwood fragrances, or if you like my channel, if you support my channel, please subscribe, activate the notification bell. You know the drill. Okay, so, whoa. Alright, full bottle fragrances. I'm going to be starting with my favorite Versace fragrance, which is a sandalwood fragrance as well, but it's more than a sandalwood fragrance. It's a designer fragrance. I featured this Crystal Noir before on my channel. This is the Eau de Toilette version, and for the life of me, I cannot get hold of Eau de Parfum version. It's discontinued, and in America, I've never seen it actually. Whatever reason that it is not really like accessible, but this Eau de Toilette version is giving me life, and the performance is great too actually. This is like warm, cold, spicy, creamy. Wow, coconut vibe to it, and that creamy woody feeling that comes from sandalwood as well at the base of this fragrance. But this is a very well blended fragrance actually, and there's a lot going on, at a given moment in time on your skin when you're wearing this fragrance. So, Versace fans out there, have you tried Crystal Noir? I think that's the best Versace fragrance. Okay, whoa, another fragrance actually, best Tom Ford fragrance, in my opinion, is a sandalwood fragrance, and it is called Santal Blush. I think Tom Ford knocked it out of the park with this one. This is a great creation. And as this dries down on your skin, this gives that clean, sweaty vibe that is giving me life. So sensual. At the same time, woody, spicy, but it's also like, so alluring. I am living for this. And if you happen to have the clear bottle version of this, Hold on to it so tightly. Hold. I am holding on for dear life. This is a great fragrance. Best Tom Ford in my books. And that happens to be a sandalwood fragrance. Tom Ford Santal Blush. Okay. Whoa. Another sandalwood fragrance comes from Lancôme, Maison Lancôme private line. I talked about this on my channel too, where I talked about 5 Maison Lancôme fragrances. This is Santal Kardamon. This is great. This is cardamom. This is sandalwood, and also what is in here is that suede feeling as this dries down on your skin. Perfectly unisex. Great fragrance. You know what? When you first spray this, you're like, okay, what are we talking about here? Is this like really groundbreaking? What is this? Give this a shot. Be patient. Wear this on your skin. Go run an errand or two, whatever, and let this one blossom on your skin, because this is a great fragrance, everyone. That leathery feeling, suede feeling with sandalwood and also cardamom spiciness. So good. I think Maison Lancôme, the private line, is so high quality, and this is not really any different than the others. I'm so glad that I own a bottle of this. If you find a bottle of this, and if you like sandalwood fragrances, if you like cardamom, and if you like leathery suede accord touch to your fragrance, this might be a blind buy worthy fragrance. This is unisex as well. Okay, another Clive Christian that we are talking about today is their Gourmande fragrance. So this is actually a masculine fragrance. This is what Clive Christian says. This is, let me tell you, Clive Christian Perfume Gourmande Oriental. This is maple syrup, the most authentic smelling maple syrup in a fragrance bottle here. This is a Gourmande fragrance, and for some, this is a reference, and I can understand why. This is basically, wow, this is basically maple syrup. If you like maple syrup, if you like the smell of maple syrup, I think you have to put your nose on this. But at the same time, this is a sandalwood fragrance, because after like a little floral, life on your skin, at the base of it, there is like a really nice high quality. And I would assume, since this is Clive Christian, like natural sandalwood in this fragrance. One thing that I would like to mention is, actually, when I looked at Fragrantica's website, it shows cloves at the top of the fragrance. I understand that. Let's spray this here, actually. But when I spray this, it's not like, oh my god, it's cloves everywhere. What this whole thing is giving me maple syrup. And yes, it's a little Christmassy. It's a little like, candle vibe to it. But sometimes it comes with sandalwood. We have to be, acknowledging the fact that when it comes to sandalwood, the woodiness sometimes might read as like a room refreshener. And if you look at my choices, actually, I really steer clear from that feeling of sandalwood. I just have to make sure that, with this one, there might be that, room smell feeling to this sandalwood here. But regardless, this is a great gourmand fragrance, and this is maple syrup. Wow. Caption. So good. This is launched as a masculine gourmand fragrance, but it's a gourmand fragrance. So women out there should try this too. There is a woody feeling to this, but there's also floral aspects to this fragrance as well. I think this is a nice creation. It is a nice gourmand fragrance. It will be great in winter months. In December, wow, this will be like shining star, actually. And well, when it comes to sandalwood fragrances, I just have to show this one to you. This is Clive Christian Maple Syrup, kind of like a woody, sandalwood, gourmand, full-blown gourmand oriental fragrance. Okay, last 2 fragrances that we are talking about today. I'm gonna giving you Roja, and I'm gonna giving you Xerjoff. The first one is actually Roja's Nuwa. And I know this is an innocuous musky rose fragrance, but there is more to this. There is vanilla and there is sandalwood in this fragrance as well. And I believe the presence of sandalwood creates the most luxurious fragrance bubble around you. It wraps you like a cashmere blanket. It smells dripping quality. This Nuwa is so high quality smelling rose, musky rose with vanilla and sandalwood. That creamy feeling is just like dripping money. I think if you are looking for a feminine rose fragrance, and if you want creaminess, and if you want that luxurious feeling to your fragrance with performance that is like 8 to 10 hours, but the fragrance bubble is really close to your skin. It wraps you, it cocoons you, you smell beautiful, it dries fantastically on clothing. This is Roja Nuwa. I know it feels like a musky rose. It is like, what is special to this one? I think what is special to this fragrance comes to life when you wear this, when you give this a chance, and then, when you wake up wearing this fragrance and you were like, oh my God, I sprayed this before going to bed last night, and now I'm smelling myself. I'm like in a cloud of like rose, creamy, kind of like floating. This is so good. And you know what? When it comes to Roja, we know that, he is kind of uh, making derivatives of what had been done before. It's obvious. I love Roja. I have many Roja bottles. But when it comes to this, I think this is pretty unique. I don't think, when I smell this, I'm like, okay, I smell rose, but this is a rose that I've never smelled before. This is that creamy feeling. This is that cashmere feeling with vanilla that I've never smelled before. And now when I look at the Fragrantica's website, like the fragrances that they say similar to Nuwa, I don't think they know what they're talking about. This is pretty unique in my book. And, this is a great fragrance. This is a great, oh, so good. You know what? Roja fans out there, I'm sure you know this already. And I'm doing the sandalwood video, and I'm like, I have to show you Nuwa. It creates a fantastic, impeccable fragrance bubble around you. Creamy cashmere. Okay, so the last one is actually has its own video on the channel, and in my books this is the best Xerjoff, and this is no other than Richwood, rose patchouli sandalwood, real natural sandalwood. Yes, it is giving me Chanel, Les Exclusives de Chanel, Coromandel vibes, but I think this is better. This is so high quality. This can go anywhere. This can go to an international building, where politics are talked, or this can go to a gym, or this can go to a date. I think Sergio with this one created something incredible. Rose and patchouli with sandalwood here is, you know what, I'm just gonna spray this. I'm gonna spray this here. Where do I spray? Let me see. Oh, what the okay, this is an amazing fragrance, and if you want more on this fragrance, please watch my video that is dedicated to this fragrance, Richwood, and it is a sandalwood fragrance. It is a natural sandalwood fragrance with rose and patchouli, very well placed patchouli and rose. If you like Coromandel, do yourself a favor. Please go and smell this fragrance. Wow. Thank me later. Okay. Woof. We made it. Okay, now I don't have any more fragrances to talk about. That's great. So let me take a sip and let's wrap things up. I want to know, what is your favorite sandalwood fragrance? Please leave a comment down in the comment section. If I missed your favorite sandalwood fragrance, I want to know. These are just the ones in my collection, the ones that I like. And I also talked about like Gris Charnel, of course, fake sandalwood. So, whatever you want to talk about, just leave a comment. And if you want to support my channel, please subscribe and activate the notification bell. I don't adore each and every fragrance on the face of this planet. I don't like some fragrances, and I'm not afraid to say that because I don't show you PR bottles, free bottles. I'm not doing whole videos every other week to show you all the free bottles that I receive in the mail that I think you should buy or some sort of like specific clientele needs to buy. No, some fragrances need to stay on the shelf. That's all right. And we say that on this channel. So if that sounds like your thing, I think we're onto something here. Nice to meet you. I'm glad that you found me here on YouTube, and I'm uploading videos every other week, uh, like every week. Not really. Ever since I moved from Pittsburgh to San Francisco, it's a little hard now. I have a more serious job to pay my bills, so I'm doing like, every other week. It's going okay right now, but I have a lot of other fragrance videos on the channel. I'm creating a large portfolio, and they are like more evergreen. They are like, buying guide for BDK Parfum, or buying guide on Les Exclusives de Chanel, that you can always refer back, So there is information on this channel that I'm actually proud of. So, if you're into fragrances and if you want, kind of like some cutthroat reviews, I think this is the channel. All right. So without further ado, I will see you at the next one. Thank you so much for spending time with me. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Goodbye.